usually tell them we're live and ready to go.
That's why I'm going to show you it coming. We're live and ready to go.
We're good. Okay. The public hearing on ordinances 9340 and 9341 is now open. A public hearing is a meeting that provides for public discussion regarding ordinances and other matters pending before City Council. Interested parties may express their views and submit evidence supporting those views at this public hearing. The information shared will become part of the city's permanent record and may be used by the members of City Council in deciding whether or not to adopt the ordinance. Today, there are two ordinances at issue. The first ordinance is 9340, which amends the zoning district map of the city of Bowling Green for approximately 4.979 acres on West Newton Road, parcel number B08-510-140000001006 from IE Innovation and Employment to I Industrial Zoning. There are four parts to our public hearings. The first is the staff report. The second is petitioner testimony. The third is public testimony. The fourth is discussion by members of City Council. To start, we will receive a staff report on ordinance 9340 from Planning Director Heather Saylor.
Good evening. I did give you a handout at your seats, and then I have some extras if anybody else wants a copy of what I pass out. So again, the applicant is City of Bowling Green. The location is 1215 West Newton Road, so that new address has been assigned since we first reviewed this rezoning request with Planning Commission. It's comprised of one parcel, approximately 4.979 acres in size. Planning Commission held the required public hearing on January 7th and referred the rezoning request to City Council with a positive recommendation. The staff report also provided a positive recommendation, which I also have a copy of if you would like to see that. So essentially, the zoning change would provide uses more in line with the future use, which would be a fire station. The IE zoning allows a lot more intensive uses, and there are different setback requirements that I listed in the handouts. For example, the front setback of 50 feet and a side yard setback of 10 feet is different in the current zoning versus the IE. Another one is lot coverage. There's a maximum lot coverage of 70%, and there isn't one in the I zoning, and there's height differences between the institutional and IE, just to point out or highlight the differences. Also gave you a copy of the permitted and conditional uses. Again, as I mentioned before, the IE does allow a lot more uses than the institutional zoning, which you can see by this comparison. For example, adult care facility would be one difference. That's allowed in institutional, but not IE. But again, you can see all the permitted uses in the existing zoning that are allowed. I also gave you a comparison table of, again, the setbacks and the lot width minimums and lot coverage. And then I gave you a copy of the map so you can see the adjoining property zoning. For example, to the west, the community center is also zoned institutional. So that's basically it, unless you have any specific questions for me.
Jeff, do you have any questions?
Nope, nothing for me.
Okay. So this ordinance originated with the city administration, and there will be no additional applicant testimony at this time. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the committee at this time? Okay. Michelle, did we receive any correspondence?
We did not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the committee now has an opportunity for discussion.
No discussion from me. I'm not sure that the city is bound by zoning regulations, so I think this discussion is pretty moot.
All right, then. That concludes the first of today's two public hearings. The second public hearing on ordinance 9341 is now open. Ordinance 9341 amends the zoning district map of the city of Bowling Green for approximately 5.8 acres at 1168 North Main Street, parcel numbers B0751180000080002 and B0751180000008003 from C Commercial to IE Innovation and Employment zoning. We'll receive a staff report on ordinance 9341 from Heather.
Thank you. Again, the location is 1168 North Main Street. It's comprised of 2 parcels, approximately 5.8 acres in size. The Planning Commission also held the required public hearing on the same date, January 7th of this year, and referred the rezoning request to City Council with a positive recommendation. The staff report also provided a positive recommendation. The IE zoning classification does allow some additional uses, more so than the existing zoning of commercial. This is a newer zoning classification that was passed with the new zoning code in 2003, and 2023. It's been more appealing to property owners since it does allow a mix of commercial and industrial. There are some differences in the setback requirements and minimum lot size and height, which are pointed out again on this handout. For example, the commercial height is a maximum of 45 feet and a minimum of 25 feet, where the proposed zoning would be a maximum height of 80 feet. So that would be, I would say, a major difference there. Although there already is a building there, so it would, be new construction that would apply to. I also gave you a copy of the IE and commercial zoning, again, showing those standards and the intent for each zoning classification. Also gave you a table comparing the commercial and IE permitted and conditional uses. Again, you can see by looking at this table that the IE does allow more uses than the commercial. Again, for example, would be agriculture. It says permitted in IE. For whatever reason, it's not permitted in commercial. Another example would be that under commercial, bar is allowed now, but it wouldn't be allowed in the IE. Light industry is another example, or general industry is permitted in the IE if approved, but wouldn't be approved in the existing commercial zoning. I also gave you a copy of a comparison of the bulk and density regulations as I described a bit earlier. Again, lot width, different setbacks, structure height, and lot coverage. And then a copy of the aerial map showing the zoning around the properties. So for example, there are currently the same zoning of IE Innovation Employment Zone to the east, south, and west. So that is it, unless you have any specific questions.
Any questions?
Nope, nothing for me.
No questions. Okay. Next, we will receive any testimony from the petitioners.
Hi, my name is Rex Huffman. I'm representing the petitioners here, Design Rentals LLC. And I just wanted to answer any questions you might have. Just point out to you, you probably know this, but if you don't, that was the former Pogemeyer Design Group building that when they sold their firm, that firm relocated. That firm started there in 1990. And believe it or not, I can remember like that like it was yesterday when they moved from the old Sentinel building over here on Worcester Street. They made a big addition to that facility in 1997, 2 actually additions, and they grew to have employment there of over 120 people and a large payroll. That site seems to fit the I&E site requirements better actually than the commercial site requirements. And their goal would be to make it more of an economic development site than a commercial site. So that's the intention. They've had interest in it, but the interest has been mainly for an I&E type business, and so that's what spawned our request.
Thank you.
One other thing, the neighboring property owner has consented to this rezone as well.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the committee at this time? No? Okay. Michelle, did we receive any correspondence?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Do we have any discussion?
Nope, nothing for me.
Okay. Well then, thank you everyone for your participation. This concludes the public hearing on ordinances 9340 and 9341.